Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the mid-season premiere of the original Season 2, Episode 10, Gonna Set Your Flag on Fire, and once again, guys, an amazing episode. I was so looking forward to this premiere because of how good the mid-season premiere was. I mean, just so many good cliffhangers in that premiere, and this episode definitely did not disappoint. Absolutely love this episode, another fantastic episode, and it just seems like they keep getting better and better as they go on, and honestly, it seems like this second half of the season is going to be better than the first half of the season, and if that's true, then this is going to be the best season of the originals by far, and I cannot wait to see what else happens, but there were some huge things that happened this episode. So many things happened in this episode I didn't think were going to happen in this episode. But a lot of people could complain that, yeah, this episode was very fast-paced. And yeah, at first it was like, I don't know if they should be revealing this right now. But because of where we're heading, I feel like they really had no other choice but to reveal these things. They really, had no other choice because of how much there was to cover. And there's tons of stuff that happened in this episode. Let's just get to it. I really like the way they started off the episode. They started off pretty close to how they started off the premiere of this season, which, it started with Klaus narrating, basically, about, about what's going on. And I don't know if they're going to keep doing this, but if they keep doing that, that's actually really cool. He's narrating about Hayley and Elijah, they now live together. And it's kind of awkward between them because, Hayley's engaged to Jackson, and there's a part where she takes Hope, and you think the two of them are going to kiss, but nothing happens between them. And I kind of felt bad for Elijah. I mean, they have that whole sex scene in the finale, and now it kind of seems like Hayley wants to try this thing out with Jackson, which I understand, but at the same time, her and Elijah have such good chemistry, and I really want to see them get together by the end of the season. Elijah is also struggling with his visions, Cole is continuing to woo Davina, and Finn is very much alive, he's plotting revenge, and Rebekah's real body lies in a comatose state, and the narration is actually a rundown of what went on being told to Cami as they drive up onto the home, because Cami had no idea, Cami was the only one that really had no idea what was going on. She wasn't part of the plan or anything. So she really didn't know what was going on there. So basically, Cami is introduced to Hope in this episode, which I was kind of surprised about, honestly, that she was introduced to Hope. I was very surprised that Cami was introduced to Hope in this episode. But basically, she had no idea that Klaus and his family didn't tell her about Hope due to fear that her existence may be extracted, because, of course, they knew that they knew that Esther wanted Hope and wanted to kill Hope. But now that Esther's kind of powerless and is a vampire now they know that Esther can't do anything to Hope, so it's kind of like, why not just tell Cami? I understand why, and I really love that scene. I love seeing Cami with Hope. Once again, this episode kind of mixed with your emotions a little bit, because this first half was very, fun and tame, and just, it was nice to see, but once again, they really can't be this family. It's like what Rebekah said in the finale, it's too bad they can't be like this all the time. It's pretty much because they're stuck this way. That's just how their life is, and I really felt bad for them because of that in the scene. I definitely really enjoyed that, though. Thought that was really good. So they're all marveling a little Hope. They then meet to figure out where things will go from present moment, because they really don't know what to do now. I mean, Esther's kind of powerless. They really don't know what they should do now that that whole thing's over. So Elijah's left to guard Cami, and Klaus and Hayley are going to leave to unite the vampires and werewolves, because that's the next step, is to get the vampire and werewolves to come to agreement and bond together. And I love that this is happening, because I predict this was going to happen, and I love that they did that in this episode, that they're getting the two of them to bond together, because you need to get those two sides to get bond together, and I definitely like that they did that in this episode. So Rebekah, meanwhile, is trapped in a body, who we don't know who she is yet. And I gotta say this about Rebekah. She is still very strong, even though she's in another person's body. And she's inside an insane asylum, apparently. That's where she was put. That's where Cole put her. And she's being dosed with pills as she is restrained to the bed. And it makes sense why she's in an insane asylum, because, she was screaming that she was somebody else, that she was Rebekah. And this girl clearly looks nothing like Rebekah, so it's very interesting to see her in this insane asylum. You gotta feel bad for Rebekah that she's in this condition. Hopefully by the end of the season, Rebekah will get out of this, because we know she's not dead. We know that she's just in this temporarily because Cole put her in this body. So Finn is working on some magic, and Mikael promises his aid to destroying the rest of their siblings. Finn still wants to kill Klaus and Elijah and Rebekah. He wants to kill all of them. Finn really is kind of like the main villain now, and I gotta say, Finn is just awesome. I loved what they're doing with his character. A lot of people complained how in the first half of the season they didn't really have a lot for Finn to do. But now Finn is like the center of it all. He is the main villain. He's so badass, and I'm so happy that he was marked up to be a series regular, because he is fantastic on the show. I love his character. By far one of the best actors on the show. Everyone on the show is fantastic, but he was fucking amazing. So Finn agrees and tells Michael that he could use his strength, and basically it seems like the two of them are working together, which I was kind of surprised about, that him and Michael are working together. I think it's because now that Esther's powerless and now that Michael knows what happened with her, well, I'm assuming he does, he doesn't want to have Esther help because she can't help, because she's kind of just powerless now and won't do him any good. So Hayley approaches Jackson, and though she believes it's simple, that, you know, Jackson assures her that there's much more to it. You know, she pretty much thinks that it's just gonna be a typical wedding ceremony, and that she'll get married to him, and that's how everything's gonna go. You know, that's what it seems like it would be. It seems pretty simple, you know, that they just get married. But Jackson tells her there's a lot more than what she thinks. There's a lot more to them getting married, and there's a lot more going on than she had anticipated. And I really like seeing Hayley and Jackson in this episode. I mean, definitely it was cool to see them, because one of the things I was definitely looking forward to was seeing how the relationship was going to be, seeing if she really wanted to try this out. And it definitely seems like she's trying to try something out. But basically, they need to perform a ceremony complete with devotion rituals, and all sounds very intimate. And Hayley's last interactions with Elijah may be the reason for her reservations about the marriage. That's why she is thinking about this. Because I feel like in the back of her mind, Hayley is thinking that she wants to be with Elijah. But as we know, Elijah's killed a lot of people, and Hayley knows this. So I think that's why she's kind of cautious about what's going on here. And I know I said that before, but it's true. That's what's really going on. So Hayley says that the most influential wolves have gathered to talk to the most influential vampires, and when they all meet face to face, the tension is at an all-time high. So basically, she's trying to convince him on why the two of them should work together. And I really do agree. I mean, the strongest wolves and the strongest vampires, they come together, everything's going to be perfect. So Rebekah's recognized despite her appearance, and the one who recognized her happens to be a victim of her mother, and it's Cassie. It's the real Cassie, though, this time. It's not the Cassie that Esther was pretending to be. This is the real Cassie. And I actually really like seeing this, because we've seen Cassie before, but she was under Esther's control. So it was cool to see Cassie in her regular form and just be Cassie. So Cassie tells Rebekah that there's no way to break out or escape alive, and Cassie knows that it's Rebekah. She can just tell. So basically, she tells her that she can't get out. There's, you know, they're stuck there. And basically, Cole has a weird smile on his face. He settles into his new accommodations, and Klaus presents Cole with a bottle of Abstein. But the reunion is cut short, and you can tell right away that Cole, the second that happened, I'm like, please, don't trust Cole. But Klaus has no idea what's going on. So obviously, he's going to trust Cole, because he has no idea what's going on. You know, he really has no idea what's going on there, and I really do kind of feel bad for Klaus because of what Cole did to them all. I mean, really, this is all Cole's fault of what's happened to Rebekah and everything. It's all his fault because it was his plan, so you gotta feel bad for them at least a little bit. You just have to. So basically, after this, Finn then barges in, demanding to know where his mother is. And Finn warns Klaus of being too arrogant and storms out, and I can understand why Finn said that, I mean, but the thing with Klaus is that he hasn't been arrogant at all. He's been doing all this to what? Protect his family. That's why he's been doing this. So, I'm not surprised that, I mean, Finn has no idea what's going on. So Hayley tries to appeal to the wolves, you know, she's trying to get them to see why they should work with the vampires, and Marcel agrees as long as there is a peace truce. And I like that Marcel said this. I like that Marcel wants to work with them because, you know, he's okay with working with Klaus. He's been in this peace agreement. I mean, him and Klaus had that great agreement at the end of the first, you know, of the season finale last year that they would work together and they're not going to go against each other. So Marcel just wants to make sure that they will stay loyal to each other. So Finn comes into the middle, runs the entire meeting by casting a trapping spell, keeping the werewolves and vampires apart. And this is why I love Finn, because he is just stirring up so much trouble, and he's trying to make sure that this does not happen. He does not want this to happen. So Klaus realizes that there's something wrong and tells Cole to fix it. Since he's a witch himself, you know, he's telling him, look, why? I mean, that's obviously logical. He's a witch. Why can't he fix it? I understand, you know, what Klaus is trying to get him to do. So basically, Klaus realized that basically, you know, Cole says he might need some help, and meanwhile, Marcel sends his apprentice, Gia, to control their people, and Elijah, because he doesn't know what's going on, he has no idea what Finn's doing, so Elijah and Cami sit down and discuss what is going on inside his head, because clearly something weird is going on with Elijah. He's having these weird visions in his head, he doesn't know what it's about, and I kind of feel like it's sort of like a side effect of what happened to him with Esther. Like, what happened to him with Esther, it's kind of like a permanent thing, and now he's trapped with this, and he has to, you know, accept that what's happened to him, and I kind of feel like that's what's going on there, and if that's true, then I think that's really cool. I kind of feel like, I mean, think about it, we did see that weird thing happened to Elijah, but then that sort of went away, so I still kind of feel like that's a thing, that, you know, what happened to Elijah before is still happening to him. I still feel like something weird is happening to Elijah, because it seemed like there was something weird that was going on with him, but then they kind of got rid of it, so I still feel like there's something going on with him. I don't know what it is right now, but basically they're trying to figure out what that is, and right, you know, they're trying to figure out what's going on, basically, you know, because they obviously want to know what's going on. So, basically, where was I? Sorry guys, hang on one second. Okay. So, yeah, basically, that's what happens, and basically, Cami brings out a trivia game for the two of them to play, and Elijah refuses to this. He thinks it's silly, he thinks it's dumb that she thinks that it's like a trivia game, until Cami asks about Hayley, and I love that she mentioned Hayley, because Klaus mentions Hayley and Elijah's glow to Hayley, and he probes her to find out what she is thinking, because he wants to know what she's thinking, basically, and Hayley realizes that she actually feels guilty for going ahead with Jackson's ceremony, though she feels deeply for Elijah. You know, you can tell that she feels this connection to Elijah. However, she wants to go ahead with the ceremony, so she really doesn't know what to do here, definitely, but the thing I like is that you don't hate her character, because you understand what she's doing. What she's trying to do is just get this whole feuding to stop. That's what she's doing, but it doesn't seem likely right now because of what's going on here. So I like that Elijah brought this up, you know, they brought up Hayley. So Cassie gives Rebekah the tour of the insane asylum for those who were getaways for witches, and Rebekah asks if they still have magic and says they need to send a distress signal to the outside. So Caleb, Cole helps walk in and surprise, and basically it's Davina, who we haven't seen for most of the episode, and they begin doing a spell to try to remove the trapping spell, but it doesn't work, and Finn now looks to be using his father to channel power and energy in order to take out his family. That's what it seems like he's doing right now, is trying to basically take down his family. That's what it seems to be going on at this point. And I think this was really awesome what was going on with Finn. So, basically, Cami and Elijah are continuing their game, and she's clearly having a lot more to drink than she should, and when the drink is spilled on Elijah, something weird happens to me. He becomes in, like, this trance state, but he snaps out of it when she tries to help him. Now, we don't really get much explanation of what's really going on there. So I'm definitely interested in seeing what's going on there, and I don't know what it really is, because that was very weird, and I'm definitely interested in seeing what's going on. So he continues to call for Rebekah and reaches someone named Angela Barker, who is supposedly the girl in Rebekah's new body. Now, my question is, who is Angela Barker? I feel like there's something going on between her and Cole. I don't think Cole would just randomly put Rebekah into some random girl's body. Clearly, I think that he knows her or something like that. I just feel like they have some sort of connection. I don't feel like Cole would just randomly put Rebekah into some random girl's body. That does not seem like Cole at all. It doesn't seem like something Cole would do, and I don't believe that Cole really would do that. So I definitely feel like there's something else going on between him and this girl, Angela Barker. And I hope that we get flashbacks. I really liked how the first half of the season, they had a lot of flashbacks. And it seems like they don't have as many this year, but this half of the season, but I really hope they do, because I really loved about the first half of the season. So, Elijah tells Klaus something's wrong, and as Klaus approaches Cole tells him they need to reveal Esther's location to distract Finn. And, basically, they don't want to do this because they know that, it's not good to do that, but they decide that they're going to do that. So Hayley comes clean to Jackson, and I was happy that she told him, she tells him specifically where she was when she was gone. She tells Jackson she slept with Elijah, and naturally, he's upset about it. And he asks her if she's in love with him, and just the look in her face alone, you can see this look in her face, it gives him his answer. And she tells him it doesn't matter what she feels, it's all about hope, and that's really what it is. It's about hope. That's what's going on here, is that the deal was she could see hope if her and Jackson got married. That was the deal. So that's why this is happening, is so she can get legal custody of Hope. That's why she's doing this. And that really makes Jackson upset. Now, naturally, you can understand why he's upset. I can understand why Jackson's upset about that. But at the same time, she gives a valid point. It really is all about hope, and I think Jackson definitely needs to understand that. He's not understanding that, and he needs to. So Josh and his werewolf boyfriend engage in some activity of their own, but they struggle to figure out how to come out as being a vampire and a werewolf pair. They're kind of, struggling with that. I like that Josh is just like, you know what, who cares? And Josh is told that the vampires were the bad guys and everything, which triggers an extremely strange effect. Something was said that triggered the spell, and Finn is making things worse. There's a relentless thirst going through all the vampires, and the only thing to quench is with the blood on the werewolf's sin in the next room. Clearly, Finn has made his move a very strategic one, and, the question is, how do you get Michael to just lay down everything? So that was very interesting what's going on there. It definitely seems like Finn has done something to not make the vampires and werewolves like each other, but we don't really know what he's done at this point. So Finn gets a call from Klaus, who's ready to bargain, and Klaus offers their mom's location in exchange for out of the spell. Basically that's what he said. He said, if you get out of the spell, I'll give you her location. So Finn remains relentless and doesn't seem to be budging from his current state, and Klaus is forced to tell Finn where their mother is, and meanwhile, Rebekah and Cassie are trying to do a spell that would send a message to her family out the outside. They begin the spell, but are interrupted by one of the necromancers who run the asylum. So Timbers run high in the compound, and Marcel, Klaus, and Cole try to brainstorm a way on getting out, but all of their efforts seem to have bad consequences. And it definitely seems like things are not working for them at this point. So Elijah, in the meantime, is really struggling with the memories in his head. And Cami's continuing to try to help, but Elijah's losing control at this point. He's for a split second before moving himself from the house. And we don't know what's going on, but I definitely feel like it's something that had to do with Esther. So Rebekah knows that Cole is the one behind the attacks, and she sees a question on the floor from someone. And I like seeing this, because Rebekah's smart. She knows what's going on. So she looks up and sees someone who appears to be trying to communicate with her. And after escaping two of the people trying to restrain her, she continues to chase the ghost. And Finn finds Esther, and he notices a very big change in her. He's taken back at what he sees, and now looks like the things he feared the most is now what his mother has become. And I loved seeing this scene, because what has Finn been for Esther? Her puppet. All season long, it's all he's been. It's her little puppet who pulls strings for her and things like that. And he has been extremely loyal to her and hasn't once turned against her. Finally, tonight, he turned against his mother. And I loved seeing it, because it's something that I want to see all season long. And finally, we got in this episode, and I was very happy we did. So he finds Esther, and he notices a very big change in her. He's taken back at what he sees, and now it looks like, basically that she's a vampire now. And he's very upset at what's happened. So basically, when the first blood is drawn, a fight ensues, and Josh can't help it, and Klaus steps in before Josh tries to drain some werewolf blood, and Davina and Cole start the spell to try to get everyone out without drawing any more blood. And Rebekah is led into a very strange room. And I gotta say, this scene with Rebekah was genuinely creepy. Rebekah's led into a very strange room with just a single casket sitting in the middle of it. She looks into the casket, steps out of the room as the door closes on its own. And Esther's trying to apologize to Finn for what's happening. And he tells her that she's a hypocrite, and that he now knows that she would want him to finish what they started. He attacks his mother, and then we switch to the compound where the spell has been completed so that the werewolves can escape. And basically, Klaus knows that Cole lied, and I love that Klaus found out in this episode. Klaus finds out in this episode that Cole lied about the whole spell, and after the spell is complete, he throws him to the hungry vampires and asks where Rebekah is. He's lecturing Cole about being selfish and petty ways that got him into this situation, and I knew this wasn't going to work, because when has Cole's plans worked? Cole's plans never work, and I love that they found out, because I didn't want this to work out well for Cole. I mean, Cole was loyal to them, and then he completely turns against them, and I don't understand why. I don't understand why he thought it'd be a good idea to just turn against them. It didn't make sense to me at all why he wanted to do that, and now that they know, definitely you know that shit is going to go down. You can just tell at this moment that shit's going to go down, and I loved knowing that in this episode, because this was just a crazy, crazy scene what ended up happening here. This was absolutely crazy. So Basically, Davina tries to keep Cole out of harm, sends him away from the Hungry Bunch, and Davina has no idea what she's doing. I mean, she has no idea that this guy she's dating, it's not going to work out well for her. I am pretty convinced that he does care about her, but I don't want the two of them together. I really don't like them I don't want them together anymore, because here's the thing with Davina and Cole, is that her dating him is bad, because I feel like Cole's going to end up in a bad place, and if Davina's with him, then they're going to turn against her as well, and Davina, I think, I don't know. I mean, she's trusting Cole, and she's definitely allying with the wrong person. I've said this before, and I don't think that Davina realizes who she's really working with. She doesn't realize that who she's working with is not a good guy, and she's gonna end up very hurt because of it. So Jackson and Hayley are all alone, and he proposes to Hayley and apologizes for acting the way he did, and he tells her that he loves her, and that every moment he spends with her makes him love her even more. And I was happy he told her this. He promises her to turn things around for their pack, and says that's all he asks. He says forcing her to love him won't be another mistake that he makes, but he wants to marry her. She smiles and agrees, and at this point, you can't feel sorry. You have to feel sorry for Elijah, because here's the thing. Jackson and Hayley, yes, Jackson really does care about her, but Elijah, you have to feel bad for him, because him and Hayley had that whole thing in the finale, and I really do want the two of them together. I know that it's going to take a while for it to probably happen, but I really would love to see the two of them together, at least by the end of the season, because if they get the two of them together by the end of the season, I'll be very happy, and it'll just really make me happy if we get the two of them together. Please do that, because I really enjoy that. So Klaus asks Elijah to stay with Cami while he sorts things out, and Elijah apologizes to Cami and tells her that his sister is missing, his family's in jeopardy, and he is powerless in it all. That's really what's going on, is that that's why he's having these visions. He asks for her forgiveness. She offers her ear if he ever wants to talk about it. And it kind of seems like Elijah and Cami are going to have like this bond now. We really haven't seen, and one of the things I like is that we really haven't seen too much of Elijah and Cami bonding. We really haven't seen too much of them even having a conversation, really. Cami's been involved with Marcel and Klaus. Not really with Elijah, though. So to see these two of them, if they get them close, I really like to see that, because they've never really had any scenes together. And I gotta say, from what we see in this episode, I really like what we've been seeing, definitely. I like that they're getting these two together, you know, that they're getting these two. I don't want these two together. I definitely do not want these two in a romantic relationship, but I do really like them as friends, and I hope they keep this pair going, because I really do like them in this romantic pairing. Definitely really enjoy that. So Klaus reaches the place where he left his mother, only to find her gone, and Finn lays his mother in the center of a spell circled next to his father, lectures their lifeless bodies, and he vows that everyone will pay for what his parents brought onto the earth. So yeah, he has now killed Esther and Mikael. Well, we think he's killed them, or he's done something to them, and basically now he is going to get his revenge for what his parents brought onto the earth, including them. So he, not only is he going after Klaus, he's going after anyone that had to do with this. So basically, he's going after every single vampire now, every single vampire, and that is going to be insane that he does this. He does not want the vampires, you know, to get along with the werewolves. He does not want the vampires on anywhere near anything, and his agenda is awesome. I love what they're giving him to do, and I can't wait to see what they decide to do with this plot. This is just amazing stuff, and I love it. So Marcel looks up at, so that was really awesome to watch. And then the end of the episode, Marcel looks up at Cole with the rest of his troop. Cole is frightened into hiding and has to barricade himself into his room, and basically everyone's against Cole now, so definitely this is not going to end up well for Cole, because basically he has to hide himself now, and you got to feel bad for Davina. Davina has no idea what she's doing. And then at the very end of the episode, Rebekah's laying down in a down state as the name Freya assembles with letters on the ground. And when we saw that name Freya, I freaked out, because of course, who was Freya? Freya was that girl that basically was there for, Freya, of course, is Esther's sister. And if they're doing what I think they're doing, then that's going to be genius. What I feel they're going to do is that they're going to get rid of Esther and bring in Freya. And Freya, of course, is the person that really did all that bad stuff to Esther, and Esther hates her for that, and it's going to be awesome to see. And now I kind of feel like Freya and Finn are going to be working together. I feel like that's the plan now, so to get the two of them to work together, and that's what Finn really wants, is for him and Freya to work together. And if that's true, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see where that goes. But let's talk about Elijah. You gotta feel bad for Elijah. I mean, I understand what Hayley's trying to do, that she really wants to be with Hope, and she wants to try out this thing with Jackson, but she needs to come clean to Elijah. And I feel like she does have genuine feelings for him, but I think she just really is concerned about Hope right now. That's what she's concerned about, and she wants to make sure that with her and Hope, everything goes okay. That's really what she wants to do right now, is that she wants to make sure that everything's okay between them. And in order for her to do that, she needs to make sure that Hope is not in danger. I understand that. But I really hope that her and Elijah do get back together. I really hope that happens. They haven't really even gone together. They had that one sex scene, and then it just went away. Cole, everyone's against Cole now. I don't know what's going to happen to Cole, but you gotta feel bad. I feel bad for him, but at the same time I don't, because he did to himself. So Finn, I can't wait to see what he does. That's by far one of my favorite parts. That's by far my favorite part of the show now, is what Finn's gonna do. Gonna make things so much more interesting, stirring up the pot a little bit. I can't wait to see what happens there with Finn. What he's gonna do is gonna be awesome to watch. Rebekah, I don't know what's going to happen with Rebekah. Definitely, I feel like the rest of the season is going to be them trying to extract extract Rebekah out of this girl's body. I really want to find out who this Angelica girl is and what she has to do with what's going on. I mean, I want to find out, what her relationship with Finn is like, why he chose her specifically, because clearly there's a reason why he chose her. He wouldn't just choose a random girl. Also, who is that ghost that Rebekah saw? That seemed legitimately creep me out. I want to know definitely who that is. I definitely think that's Freya now. But Angelica Barker, I definitely want to find out more about her. I want to see them do more flashbacks with her, because I want to find out what's really going on there. Are Michael and Esther dead? Did Finn kill them? What did he do to them? Are they under some sort of trance? What's going on there? That's going to be interesting to see. What's going on with Elijah? Why is he seeing these random visions? Are him and Cami going to start some sort of a friendship? I really do like that if they start a friendship, because I'd love to see that happen. That'd be really cool to see. But that's basically my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Overall, looks like it's going to be an amazing second half of the season. I can't wait to see what they are going to do, what else they are going to do with it. It's going to be awesome to watch. That's basically for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the mid-season premiere of The Foster. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.